Everybody, welcome into Drums by Liz. Inversion of Paradiddle-Diddle. Okay, we're kind of using Paradiddle-Diddle sticking, but we're starting on our doubles. Okay, if you notice, that's just a measure and a half of a bounce groove. Okay, any groove that you like. Okay, keep it real bouncy because it sounds nice then when we play triplet figures off of that. Okay, or sextuplet figures in this case. Okay, so now we're doing a little roll to begin with. So that's kind of like if I did, paradiddle-diddle, we would do diddle, diddle, para, right? Okay, inverting that thought process. So we're starting with our doubles on the right. So that would be our first sextuplet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, you could use that as a little warm-up or a little fill-in, part of a fill-in for yourself. Sounds nice. Kind of commanding off the end, having those cymbal notes working for us. Okay, but then what I decided to do is then to stay on those cymbal notes and then kind of invert the pattern, okay? So we're starting on snare with our rolling, doubling, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but now 1, 2, and we could come back to a roll again, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? But that's not what I played. I would love the end to then be a singular idea, coming back to a snare note on the third note of the second sextuplet, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Having that one little cracky snare note in there, I think adds a lot. When I'm first showing this to students, sometimes that's a little too much off the bat, and sometimes I will have them just play just to make life a little easier for them, right? So right, left, right, twos. 2 on the cymbal, 2 on your tom, 2 on the tom, right? But if we can work in that snare note, that to me, it adds a nice little dynamic in there, okay? So put the whole thing together. Again, you've got a couple different ways to play that. If I kept it as a roll and came back to my doublings, we could play through this like a little exercise. So it could be then right, so we could utilize that too. Look at all these lessons in one lesson, right? A lot of things that we can cherry pick or expand upon. Okay, let's take now and let's come into that other part. Okay, what I was talking about before where we're going to go like, to me, like I said, that snare note in there adds a nice little dynamic into the whole process. Okay, so we'll put it all together. Snare note, kind of waiting to hear it there, okay? And it's on, that triplet, 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 triplet. So it's on a nice little portion. It's not like on the downbeat or the and. It's on, like I said, that third note of the second sextuplet there. Okay, so please have fun with that. Those are some nice concepts, again, to excerpt, take out of context, and put it into some little other area of your playing style. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for stopping in again. for another quick little lesson, okay? And I hope that that's a fun thing for you. And you're utilizing, you know, some different concepts, some different techniques that we have to put into play. Oh, some little open rolling, but then some nice cymbal work with bass work, and then working it off into some toms. You know, to me, it's got a lot of, you know, nice components to make up a really sweet little fill-in. Okay, everybody, have a great week, okay? Happy drumming. We'll see you soon.